They arrived in their hundreds from the four corners of Britain, Europe and beyond to mark the end of an historic year-long protest against the presence of nuclear warheads in Scotland. At 7 AM, with the sun still coming up, the protesters made their first strike, overwhelming the police presence and parking themselves outside the north gate of Faslane Naval Base near Helensburgh. With the police line broken and numbers stretched, a battle was waged to not just remove those blocking the entrance, but prevent others from joining them. The officers' jobs were not made any easier by the protesters, who came prepared for a struggle, albeit peaceful one, with tubes, chains and other equipment used to link limb to limb and make the job of freeing them more challenging. Yet the police had also come prepared. Despite being short of numbers, they had brought with them a selection of tools to cut, saw and break the protesters free of their shackles. Monday's demonstration marked the culmination of the year-long Faslane 365 campaign, in which protests were sought on each day of the past year outside the base. Despite not achieving the objective of having a protest on every day, the project was still being hailed as a massive success.
We have here today over 600 people who have come to blockade the base, to shut down the base. We've had over 1,000 people arrested now this year. That shows the determination of people. We've been organizing, facilitating the organization of autonomous groups, separate groups from throughout the country to come here throughout the year, and we've managed to have blockades of the base about every other day this year. We've had a presence here more than half the days this year.
An hour into the protest, and the police were forced to call in reinforcements to restrict the blockade of the base. However, the 500 or so who attended the event were buoyed by the news that the south gate at the complex, as well as the north gate where the majority were congregated, had been blocked too, and that protests outside the entrances to RNAD Coolport on Loch Long had been successfully staged for the first time ever. As the morning wore on, a number of politicians arrived to support the protesters' efforts.
As you know, it happened in Chernobyl, accident, and we'll be the first people who will be facing what had happened there in Russia. So we want it out from Scotland.
It's incomprehensible that our government is going to undermine an international treaty that we have signed, the Non-Proliferation Treaty, and thus undermining any credibility that we have in arguing with other countries in the world not to develop their own nuclear weapons.
By mid-morning, the police had regained control of the area immediately outside the base, but found a new problem in close vicinity, with protesters blockading the road from Gairloch Head and preventing traffic from passing through. This action proved too much for one local resident, who was clearly incensed that her child's journey to school had been disrupted.
There's people on the road, so that's why we can't get through.
No, you can go right around to that. The police are stopping you going there to make you angry, so that people then are objecting to what we're doing.
Since October the 1st, 2006, a near constant protest presence has been in place at Faslane, with a range of groups participating. However, only a select few can say they've sacrificed themselves for the entire year.
It's been an amazing experience, and you know, in some ways I feel very lucky to have been part of it. So at that level, no. At the same time, yeah, it's taken a lot of time and energy, and yeah, I could do with a break for a couple of weeks.
Imagine if there was to be a nuclear accident with the warhead convoy on the roads, or if there was to be a nuclear bomb used, the devastation that would cause. Surely it is better to take the actions now to prevent that happening. If that happened, lives would be sacrificed appallingly.